What's up, guys? Today we're reviewing the fourth episode of Loki titled The Nexus Event. Here we go.
This was a great episode, dude. This was like a complete roller coaster. We laughed, we cried, everything. And it made episode 3 make sense in my eyes, which was a difficult feat. I roasted the last episode a lot and it's redeemed now.
No, and yeah, coming from someone who liked it, I like it even better now. So it's great to see episodes that kind of bolster previous episodes.
hmm
Anyways, in this episode, we got to see a romantic subplot between Loki and Sylvie, and that really messed up the timeline.
Yeah, and the whole point was of episode 3 again is just that they took that whole episode 3 and it was all to just build the relationship of Loki and Sylvie, which would end up doing the really crazy timeline thing where like the arrow stemmed out like all the way on the top and no one had ever seen that before. And of course the TVA goes there and Loki and Sylvie end up getting captured by the TVA. Credit goes to the voters, by the way, on the polls. They predicted everything, even though I only posted it like an hour earlier than the episode, or like 2 hours earlier than the episode. But everyone called it that the TVA was going to come in and save them from this apocalyptic event.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? You guys are prophets. But speaking of things that we called, and by the way, if you guys want to see what's going to happen in the next episode, be sure to check out our next leak video coming out sometime this weekend. The Citadel at the end of time was one of our predictions, and we got to see that in glorious live action. So, what'd you think of that?
We're getting a lot of these things right, so if you want to know what happens in the future, it might be worth checking out what we got to say. But I thought it was really cool. Number one, just because we predicted it, and number two, because it just actually looked really good. The CGI in this episode was like top notch.
It was giving me some Exegol vibes from Rise of Skywalker. And by the way, as much as I'm not a fan of that movie, I did like the design of that planet.
Yeah, no, and the whole thing looked really nice. Also, I thought the TVA, the timekeepers, I'm sorry, were like super intimidating. Like, did you see the way they were like glowing in that? It kind of reminded me of like Galactus from the Fortnite event. You know how they had like a picture of him like before he actually came into frame.
I remember that dude. Yeah,
Yeah, it looked really good. And
like
another
an
thing,
ethereal halo, right?
yeah, and another thing, we finally found out what happened to Sylvie, which is all I wanted last episode. She was a kid. She was taken away from the TVA. Again, we predicted this. She was taken away by the TVA for something which is never revealed, but just as a child, and she escapes, and that was her whole backstory. I do think I want a little bit more of how she like figured out about the apocalyptic events and how she figured out how to use the tempad so fast. But you know what? Something's better than nothing.
Yeah, and also I'm just glad we got to see Asgard in that amazing. Not really. It's still live action, but I mean the effects have clearly progressed since we last saw it. And yeah, it
hmm
was. You can clearly tell they're putting a lot of money into these types of shows. You know, we saw the Raft with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now we're going back to Asgard officially. And speaking of other Asgardian callbacks, we got to see Sif in a sort of memory time loop sort of thing.
Yeah, we didn't know if she was actually gonna come in because everyone in the like every one of the leaks we reviewed was like Sif is coming back. Even though I was somewhere on like 4chan or something, and it's like Sif is coming back, it's guaranteed. And I was like, this is really out there. And then guess what? She comes back, and it was really funny.
Yeah, and I was also like giving me some Black Mirror vibes with this whole like time loop sort of mental prison kind of thing. The TVA definitely have some advanced tech underneath their belt.
Okay, so Black Mirror vibes. It gave me Lucifer vibes because it was like in their hell loop. But I guess the difference would be like the hell loops, you can't change anything, but you can't like Loki was able to change some stuff in that whole thing.
That is true. Yeah, there wasn't the same sense of inevitability, right?
Yeah, Thanos is so proud of you. Um, then Mobius later on, Mobius, it's more centric on him, I guess, because they spent a whole episode without him. They wanted to give him his shine, which ends up horribly, but we'll get into that later. Mobius finds out that the TV agent that was earlier compromised by Sylvie was actually shown her real memories by Sylvie. So he finds out that they're all variants. He starts to believe Loki, and he finds out that Ravonna is in on Timekeepers, like lying to them. So Mobius goes in and frees Loki from the time cell with Sif, and he talks to him for a bit. And when they come out, Ravonna has figured out that they're all onto her, and so she
Yeah,
has
they were just waiting. They were just waiting for the two to come back, right?
yeah, and so she has him pruned.
I think as much as I loved seeing Owen Wilson's performance, I would love to see him jet skiing and saying "wow" or something like that.
Yeah, like I just think he smashed it. By the way, he killed it.
He sure did.
And I'm really disappointed. This whole decision was dumb. That was so dumb. Why would they kill this guy? This guy, him and Loki's chemistry was the strongest point of this entire show, and that was so stupid. But you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, I think in a show where your main character is this Asgardian god, you need someone at least to serve as your anchor in a way, like some normal guy. He's not really that normal, but at least like he doesn't talk like Loki. He talks like one of us, just like a chill dude who is well aware of how weird the TVA is.
Yeah, and it was that decision was so dumb. Like they shouldn't have killed him at all. But you know
Wait,
what?
wait, wait.
Again,
Hold that thought. They may not have killed him, right? Wait,
yeah.
wait.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what I was gonna say. You never know. You never know.
we're gonna get to that part later. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Ravonna, now that Mobius is, quote unquote dead, Ravonna takes Sylvie and Loki to the Timekeeper's room to prune them.
So the timekeepers had previously requested like to personally oversee their pruning. Remember? So do
Hmm.
you think it was
That's why she takes
yeah,
them.
do you think it was actually them or whoever's controlling? I don't know what degree of autonomy they have, seeing as they are, as we'll talk about later, androids.
Yeah, I don't know. When she says if Ravona's in on the lie, I doubt she's talking to the actual like robots. But we'll get to that later. Let's get into this stuff.
Yeah, so there was this nice scene in the elevator where Sylvie asks Ravona if she remembers her Nexus event. And it's at this point where I would have appreciated to see the Nexus event in the flashback intro at this point as sort of a look into Ravona's memory. And then Ravona kind of follows it up with, yeah, I forget. How cool would that have been?
That would have been cool, but here's what I think. It might have just been that she actually forgot. So like I think the way they're trying to shape this is like these Nexus events sometimes are just so small, like it's just so tiny that she doesn't even remember, she doesn't even care. And so like, it could have been they zoomed into her boat, didn't they? So maybe it was just that she was playing with the wrong toy and that's why it was so insignificant. But because of the fact that this guy who's controlling the TVA is so dictatorial, he's just like go ahead, erase the whole thing.
I know, but think of the dramatic irony they would have introduced. I think it's likely that Ravona actually like forgot about this thing, but who knows?
Yeah, we never know. The TVA is finally revealed. The three were androids, some of the worst CGI I've ever seen from Marvel, but then we realized that they're androids, so it's all forgiven. The whole point was to show that the guys were robots. That's why the CGI was so bad. It was never supposed to look
It
realistic.
was giving me some like it's a small world vibes, animatronics, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, they ended up gender bending one of the female timekeepers into a male, from what I can tell. It was asked, I believe.
Yeah, the one was named Ash. The one who was supposed to be the top was supposed to be a girl. And again, like I just kind of was wondering what's up with Kate right now. Like Kate Herron had this whole big thing about making Loki bi, and all these like right wing YouTubers were so mad about this, and all the left wing were like, yo, it's such a good thing. And then they just like gender bent one person. I don't know what they're doing with that. That was funny though. It was really funny to me. As someone who's in the middle, it was really funny to me. Like you spent all this time pissing people off with the bi stuff, and then the one girl on the whole panel. They're just like, no, let's just make this one into a
Exactly,
guy.
dude. But back to the topic at hand. Who do you think's behind the TVA? Obviously, I know the answer. It's Kang, but why?
Yeah, I hope it's Kang at least. There's a few hints, but they're all androids. And the funny thing was, like, when the top one, I guess, male asked when he got snoked, basically, he got like got like cut in half or whatever it was. The other two started laughing and then they powered down. So I don't know why he would have done that. I don't know why he had the laughing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that was some sort of like programmed end sequence to those guys, like last laugh, kind of like that. But
Possibly.
I don't know. It's at this point where Loki starts to profess his feelings for Sylvie out loud, and unfortunately, Ravona happens to be right behind him, and he gets pruned. So that's not the end, though.
Yeah, it's definitely not the end. I thought it was the end for a minute, and I was like, they killed Loki and Mobius. They're really trying to piss fans off. And then we find
Yeah, we
out
got two
that,
episodes left, though. Don't worry.
yeah, we got 2 episodes left. There's no way they're doing that. So we find out that Loki is waking up after getting pruned on this, like, in what looks like post-apocalyptic New York. And we don't get to see it for a second. He's like, is this hell? Which was kind of interesting. Like, he knows about hell, even though, like, hell hasn't been introduced yet, according to him. I guess they didn't know about hell at that point.
No, so they mention hell with one L, which makes you think like it was the Asgardian concept of hell. And by the way, let's just take a little side tangent. Loki mentioned him being narcissistic. So what did you have to say about that?
Yeah, I did. I mentioned that during the episode too. It was like that he said narcissist, and I know like narcissist is supposed to be like this Greek mythology guy, right? So they know about the
Narcissist, yeah.
Greek, yeah, they know about the Greek mythology, people clearly, or they're just talking like us. But it would have been cool to see an Asgardian know stuff about Greek mythology, especially since I think Zeus is coming into Thor 4. I think there was a
Russell
rumor that
Crowe,
Russell
that's right.
Crowe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, it's interesting to see them, yeah, explore other cultures in a way.
Yeah. Anyways, Loki wakes up and sees three other Lokis, and this was my favorite part by far. Just standing over him, and this was great. There's post-apocalyptic New York. We can see Avengers Tower breaking in the side. We can see everything else, and these three Lokis were looking at him. And actually, they're four Lokis because the alligator was technically a Loki too.
That's true. Yeah.
My favorite costume, my favorite costume out of these guys was without a doubt Richard E. Grant, dude. That guy looked like he was cosplaying his ass off. It was the best thing I've ever seen.
Allegiant General cosplay, as you called him, right?
Yes, a Legion General cosplay, man. Dude, he straight up like I don't even think they made this suit for him. I think he just like he had the suit from Comic Con and he just dusted it off and was like,
Or no, not dusted it off, bro. Applied more dust because that thing is pretty gross if you look at it right now.
dude, it looks funny as hell. I can you just imagine him like walking through before the day and he just goes, "Honey, where's my Loki suit?"
Where's my Loki suit? That would have been awesome, bro. Maybe it's a deleted scene. Like variant Loki getting ready to meet younger Loki.
Man, but that suit looks like straight from like the 40 comics, bro. That was crazy to see that. And then we have the kid Loki and then the other guy Loki who looks like from a completely different I've never actually seen that one before. And the alligator Loki was by far the weirdest. But it's cool.
100%. It was, yeah, it was giving me a lot of Deadpool vibes, like both in terms of like how the show is self-awareness, making fun of the superhero as a concept, and also like, the general framing, and you got these bunch of misfits, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. It is giving me Deadpool vibes with the whole misfit band thing they had in Deadpool 2, the whole family that they had. But it's also possible that, Loki is gonna begin his presidential campaign, and I know you had a lot to say about this.
Yeah, so if you've watched our previous leak video, you've probably noticed that little banner call out that I did. So I think that these folks are going to work with Loki and maybe get into a position where he can run for president. But my question is, Sylvie's in the Citadel right now, currently interrogating Ravonna. So how does he get back there? Is it going to be like another golden door situation or what?
Well, I can't wait for them to explain to us, or for the leaks to let us know where exactly he is and how he got there. And above all, I want to know, is Mobius alive too? Because I want to see that Owen Wilson scene, like an Owen Wilson scene with the jet ski.
I better see it, but I don't want it to be on that like dirty ass post apocalyptic New York, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
not there. Like a cool little like beach vibes. But definitely I want to know if Mobius is okay too because does everyone just go to this like really messed up place or is it
Yeah, like that makes us
cuz
think. Like maybe those guys were pruned too, right?
yeah, that scene where Loki's like in front of like becoming president and he's like, "What did you expect from the trailers?" I think he might be talking to Mobius.
That's true. You do raise a good point.
He's like, "What did you expect in a band of like in a misfit, like a bunch of misfits are here. Like what did you expect? Of course I'm the leader."
He's a misfit of misfits. There you go, right?
Yeah, it'd be a perfect like second to last episode. The way to end that.
I really want some like comic relief after losing Mobius or supposedly losing Mobius next
Yeah,
episode.
I just want to see Mobius come back. That's the goal.
Yeah,
Marvel, bring Mobius back. Hashtag bring back Mobius.
resurrections this time. That's it for our review. Make sure you put your predictions and theories in the comments and let us know what you thought. Until then, see you guys.